The Employment Standard is part of the Integrated Accessibility Standards Regulation of the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act 2005. This standard helps employers make their employment practices and workplaces more accessible to potential and existing employees with disabilities. This video deals with one of the requirements of the Employment Standard.
The Human Resources Professionals Association, HRPA, presents.
In this exciting episode, Harold Jeepers in Workplace Emergency Response Information.
In his office, Harold is trying to walk using crutches.
This is Harold. He is the new manager at Jiffy Brothers Industries. Harold is part of a company-wide team tasked with making certain Jiffy's emergency response plan works. Harold has been asked to focus on individualized emergency response plans. This is SONJA.
SONJA watches Harold, with a bemused look on her face.
She is Jiffy Brothers' go-to HR person and a certified human resources professional. She asks Harold what he's doing with the crutches. Harold explains that he really wants to understand the barriers he would face if he personally had a broken foot and had to leave the building in an emergency.
Harold lifts one of the crutches up over his head, loses his balance, and proceeds to fall over.
SONJA is quizzical.
Harold quickly rises up from his fall.
Harold gives her a stopwatch and asks her to time how long it takes for him to exit the building.
With the video in slow motion, Harold charges wildly past cubicles and hallways, as various employees try to avoid his careening path. Others watch and shake their heads sadly.
Oh no!
Harold bashes through a door and promptly falls down a flight of stairs, as SONJA cringes. Then she smiles and clicks to stop the stopwatch. Next, Harold is back in his office, holding an ice pack to his head.
Back at Harold's office, SONJA tells him to just follow Jiffy Brothers' HR policies and processes for an emergency response plan. Review your organization's overall emergency response plan. Check that those employees with existing individual accommodation plans also have individualized emergency response information if needed.
A sign drops in front of an employee, which reads, "Drop by if you want to talk to me privately about an emergency response plan. Signed, Harold."
Determine who else needs help and how to best meet their emergency response needs.
Harold is down on his knees, showing a diagram from the emergency response binder to a seeing eye dog.
Once an employee makes a request, you must provide the information as soon as possible.
Harold gives a binder to a man with a visual disability.
Provide emergency response information to employees based on their accessibility needs. This is also part of the accessible formats and communications requirement of the Employment Standard. Involve. With the employee's consent, ensure information is provided to those who will be helping that employee in an emergency.
A number of employees gather around Harold in his office as he explains emergency preparedness plans.
Review emergency response information.
Number 1.
When a new employee comes on board.
Number 2.
When a new employee moves to a different location.
Number 3.
When an employee's individual accommodation plan is reviewed.
And 4.
Every time you review your general emergency response policies.
Harold returns to his office, where he speaks with SONJA.
Harold tells SONJA that he guesses he won't be needing these.
Leaning back in his chair, Harold tosses his crutches over his desk, but then his hands shoot up as he loses his balance and he starts to fall backwards.
You have been watching Workplace Emergency Response Information. The story you have just seen is real, but the names have been changed for plausible deniability.
To learn more and download free tools and resources, go to ontario.ca/accesson. This video is part of HRPA's Enabling Change Partnership Project with the Government of Ontario. Special thanks to Link Up Employment Services for Persons with Disabilities for connecting us to their employees and clients as cast members. www.linkup.ca Produced by Keyring Media. www.keyringmedia.com